Naga Munchetty and Charlie State were back to host BBC Breakfast on Saturday. Naga Munchetty was forced to issue an apology on Saturday's BBC Breakfast after her co-star was cut off during his report from Kyiv. Naga spoke with the BBC's security correspondent Frank Gardner via video link. However, they appeared to have some trouble with the sound, and Frank was cut off. Introducing the report, Naga said, "In the last hour, we understand that Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, has arrived in Kyiv with the leaders of France and Germany, and they intend to put more pressure on President Putin to agree to a 30-day ceasefire. The leaders have accused Russia of obstructing efforts to end the war, and say they will continue to increase support for the Ukrainians." Our security correspondent, Frank Gardner, is in Kyiv for us. Frank, good morning to you. Lots of anticipation, but obviously, we've been here before, and President Putin hasn't always delivered what some people thought he may promise. It's a lovely, blue, peaceful morning here in Kyiv. It's the last day, he began to say before the sound cut off. He continued, of the ceasefire, which ends at 10 o'clock UK time tonight. And I think we're all rather sort of bracing ourselves for a resumption of airstrikes because the US Embassy here in Kyiv has put out a warning, which they do fairly regularly, of the expectation of more airstrikes. But as you mentioned, Sir Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron are here in the Ukrainian capital, and we're expecting Poland and Germany. The sound cut out again before Frank went on, before we further ceasefire, the West has got to stop arming Ukraine. In other words, leave it defenseless and vulnerable for further Russian advances. So that's a bit of a non-starter. So I don't see, but nevertheless. Naga was then forced to step in to apologise to viewers as Frank disappeared from the screen. She said, "Apologies there. Frank Gardner, who is our security correspondent in Kyiv. Apologies there for the technical gremlins, we will make sure that is sorted out in the coming hours." Elsewhere on BBC Breakfast, fans took to social media to share their thoughts about the show's new segment, Tech Now, a short program that explores the latest innovations and technology shaping our lives. One person complained on X, #BreakfastBBC's Tech Now is like an amateur YouTuber's version of #Click. Bin it. Another reeled, Tech Now is basically Click without Spencer and Lara, and is much the worse for it.